Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Hello everyone. Now we are going to start with a new chapter which is numbered as 13 and its heading is the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, this revolution actually according to our syllabus or in the history, first it happened in Britain or can be say like that England, and particularly in the two different centuries we are going to discuss inside this chapter in detail, that is 18th century and the 19th century AD. So special focus is there in this chapter on Britain, what type of the changes or revolution occurred during this industrial revolution. So first of all, we are coming to discuss about that. What is this term industrial revolution mean? What is the meaning of this industrial revolution? So it is used to describe those spectacular changes and inventions which revolutionize the whole industrial system of a country. The change means a massive change. The entire factory system, the whole industrial system of a country is changed. So it is known as industrial revolution. This transformation of industry in Great Britain between 1780s, what it is? The year mentioned as 1780s and 1850s. These are the 2 years when this revolution occurred in Great Britain, happened in Great Britain. So this is also called as the first industrial revolution. The revolution which started in 1780s and continued till the 1850s, considered as first industrial revolution, and the country is named Britain or Great Britain or England. Second phase also it is there. In the second phase, where it is second phase of industrial revolution started after 1850, and at this time Britain was not there. Germany and USA were the leading country. So but in the first industrial revolution, when it started in England, every branch of English industry that witnessed profound and complete changes. Complete change took place during this period in Britain. They had far-reaching effect on country, and similar changes came in the European countries like Belgium, very important country. This we are talking about the first industrial revolution. Belgium, France, and this is gradually it is Belgium, France and Germany. After that, in the course of the time, they had a major impact on the society. This industrial revolution not only brought change in the industries, the changes and the transformation not only that introduced or it affected that the industries of the country, but its impact, the major impact was on the society. Society was also affected with this change, with this revolution. Then economy of the country, that also affected with this revolution. This industrialization or industrialized countries also on the rest of the world. Not only these countries where this industrialization took place. First it is in Britain or Great Britain or England, whatever it is, we can consider any one name. And after that France was there, Belgium, Germany, USA. But not only whatever the name mentioned over here in these countries, but its impact was throughout the world. In the second phase, it is the industrial revolution which took place after 1850s. New areas like chemical and electrical. In the first phase, what industries were developed? They were basically cotton textiles. The later part we will discuss in detail. And coal and iron industries. These were developed in the first phase of the industrialization. In the second phase, basically, this changes and the revolution took place in Germany and USA. There, the factories like chemical and electrical industries expanded, and during this phase, the Industrial Revolution, the Great Britain fell behind. At this time, when this Germany and USA were leading country in the second phase of the industrialization, Great Britain, it was fell behind and it lost its position as the world's leading industrial power. This position was overtaken by Germany and USA. First phase, this Britain was the leading country in the world. But in the second phase, it fell behind and the leading countries were USA and Germany. The Industrial Revolution was used for the first time. Now coming to discuss about this personality, this person, what role played by him, what was his contribution? The term Industrial Revolution was used for the first time in England by a great historian. His name is Arnold Toynbee. This is the time period mentioned for his birth till his death, 1889 to 1983, to describe the changes that occurred in the British industries developing between the 1760s and 1820s. First time, this was the man who used this term Industrial Revolution, and he described about that the first phase of Industrial Revolution which occurred and which developed in the British and the changes which experienced in the British industries. Later historians, after this, that when he has given his theory or a term which is used by him as the Industrial Revolution, later other historians like T.S. Ashton, Paul Montois and Eric Hobson, they broadly agreed with the Toynbee's view. Whatever the idea, whatever the suggestion given by Toynbee was accepted by these historians. So this is the contribution of Arnold Toynbee. Now the most important thing, this is actually related to the theme of the chapter, the Industrial Revolution and why the first phase or first it has started in England. What were the reason behind it? So it first originated in Britain. In Britain, coal and iron mines laid together in the same area. If you look at the map of Great Britain, including all the three, let's say Scotland, Ireland and Wales, as well as England, then it's very easy to understand about that, the geographical location and the mines of iron and coal. They were laid together. Then another important factor for the industries were already developed. The labor, which is very important factor for the establishment of the industries, which was labor. So from where these labor came? Because in those days, throughout the world, agriculture was the priority sector. Everywhere, most of the population, they involve in agriculture. So how to get this labor for these industries? So this is another important factor which led to the Industrial Revolution in Britain was the Agricultural Revolution. Agricultural Revolution is actually about that the same way. We can, just as the Industrial Revolution, Agricultural Revolution was also there in European continent, we can say so, because together it was there and basically its impact was there in England. This revolution is having gradual transformation of the traditional agriculture system. What it is? To transform the traditional agriculture system that began in Britain in the 18th century. This is again, it is in the 18th century. And this aspect of the complex transformation, which was not completed till the 19th century. Till the 19th century, the complete transformation of agriculture was not been done. Started in 18th and it continued till the 19th century. The reallocation of land, ownership to make farms more compact and an increased investment in technical improvements such as the introduction of the machinery, technology in the farming, better drainage system, scientific methods of breeding, and experimentation with new crops and the system of crop rotation. This was also introduced in Britain. So this is about that. We are discussing about that from where actually this Britain, what was the reason behind it? Why this revolution started in industries were being set up in Britain first. First was coal and iron mines were laid together. Then agricultural revolution, which had preceded the industrial revolution. It had made a large number of agricultural laborers available for employment in the factories established during the agricultural revolution. Because of that, the surplus labor were there in the villages and towns. And the small towns where the most of the population who they were involved in the cultivation of the land, now they are unemployed. So in search of the job, they have started moving towards the towns and the cities, towards the industrial towns. Then next it comes very important. First of all, resources, which comes under the natural resources. Coal and iron mines were available. Second, we have discussed about that, the labor. These are also in economics, it is known as the factors of development or factors of production. So what it is that? Then the third it comes about that, which is very important, is capital, money. So from where these industrialists, they earned their capital, they earned this huge profit to invest in the industries. So British had accumulated huge capital on account of expansion of a trade and business throughout the country, throughout the world. And from where they were doing the trade? With their colonial countries, the countries which were colonized by them. In previous classes already you have read about that, you have idea about that. This Indian freedom movement during the First World War, the growth of the industries in our country, and why the Britishers, they ruined the colonized countries. So this way they were making a huge profit with the trade during the 18th century from the different parts of the world, the land or the countries which were colonized by them. Then next it comes easy availability of capital made England a pioneer in the Industrial Revolution. So this way the easy availability of capital give the rise to the growth of industries in Great Britain. Next it comes about that what type of the other security they were having for their development, which supported them, which gave them support to establish political security, strong navy, and internal peace. These were the 3 points which were very important. Political security was there. They were having the strong navy for that, the trade and commerce, and the internal peace were also there inside the country. This was also brought the very important factor for the growth of the industries in England. Britain has been politically stable since 1700. In 1701, somewhere I think so you must have gone through about that, 1701, Act of Union was passed. Not given in the chapter in your text, but must know about that, why this the political stability was there, what were the reason behind it. In the year 1701, Act of Union was passed, and according to that, this United Kingdom of Great Britain was formed. What it is? United Kingdom of Great Britain. Great Britain was formed, and which gave that the political stability to the country. According to this, England, Wales and Scotland under a strong monarchy. These countries were now under the control of the monarchical system of the government, and this monarchy was from the England. So all this is now this vast territory, they have the common laws for all the countries. They have stable currency, and a market not hampered by local authorities. But what they were doing? They were levying taxes on things that pass through their areas. So this is also that. The administration was controlled by this laws, by this rule of the land, and they were also levying the taxes, whichever that the traders or the merchants or the goods and the commodities which were passes from their area, and that way also they are collecting the taxes and they are increasing the prices. Money was widely used as a medium of exchange. This gave the people a wider choice to spend their incomes and spend the market for sell their goods. Other important factor was their political stability. After this AD 1700, how this political stability came? With the passing of an act in the year 1701, Act of Union, and all these countries were merged together and they were controlled by the strong monarchy. Both the impact, positive and negative, as well as not only that, medium of exchange, currency, money was introduced, which also helped a lot in the development of the industries. This is the picture of agriculture revolution. When this machinery were not being in use, then the farm laborers, they were doing their work by their hands, the manual labor were there. Now the second picture is showing about that introduction of the machinery in the farming land for the farming purposes. So this way the labors, they were surplus labor, surplus hands were there in England, which gave boost to the industries, in the flourishing of the industries, how the industries were flourished. So this is the political stability with England, Wales and Scotland under a strong army, and the country had common laws, a stable currency and a market not hampered by local authorities. Then what it is that? They levying taxes on things that pass through their areas and increasing their prices. And money was, actually this is what, the money was widely used as a medium of exchange. And this gave the people a wider choice for ways to spend their income. Easy exchange was now available with the help of the money. And this also gave the rise for the expansion of market for the sale of their goods. Next it comes about that this innovations and technological changes. The new inventions and the development of the new technologies and how it affect the changes, how it introduced the changes. First of all, Industrial Revolution in England and pattern of growth. What type of already the chapter is based on the revolution, means that the change, and in the context, the focus is where? Focus is in England. So what were the pattern of growth? Now coming to discuss about that, the patterns, the system, in which direction and in which means the commodities or goods were started producing or manufacturing by these industries. So first of all, it is explained like that, cotton spinning and weaving. So the Industrial Revolution in Britain comprised 6 great changes which were interdependent. Now the 6 great changes were introduced, and all these the 6, they were interdependent. Revolution in textile industry. First of all, we are coming to discuss about that revolution, the great change in textile industries. Case Fly Shuttle. It's the name of an inventor. Topic is only innovations and technology. So this person is an inventor of flying shuttle, and he invented this flying shuttle in 1733. His full name is John Kay, invented the famous flying shuttle. Showing you the picture also, this is John Kay's flying shuttle, which was invented in 1733, Hargreaves spinning jenny. This is about the flying shutter. What is the use of this? How it was used in the and means beneficial for the textile industries? It made weaving of broadcloth by one man possible. This invention increased the demand for yarn which could not be spun to keep the shuttle working. Flying shuttle is now started using in the textile industries, which gave the demand of that the yarn is too much high. And in those days, this yarn were spun with the help of the shuttle. And this shuttle working and the making of the yarn with the shuttle did not fulfill the demand of the flying shuttle. So what happened? This Hargreaves spinning jenny. What we have just now discussed, interdependent. All these inventions, one after another, they are related to each other. They are dependent to on each other. So after this flying shuttle, production, the fabric production has been increased, but yarn supply was less. Hargreaves spinning jenny 1765. Spinning jenny in 1765, it was invented by James Hargreaves. He invented a new spinning machine called the spinning jenny, and this new machine consisted of 8 spindles. And this 8 spindles means by this machine, one spinner could now do the work of the 8 spinners. This was the progress, or this was the use and the benefit of this flying shuttle and the spinning jenny. Showing you the picture of this spinning jenny, which has been developed by Hargreaves or the James Hargreaves. Then next we are coming to discuss with the Arkwright's water frame. 6 inventions we are discussing, which they are interdependent. So gradual. First was flying shuttle, then spinning jenny. Now coming with the water frame, which was invented by Arkwright in 1769. He was a Bolton barber and invented the famous water frame. Now coming to discuss about that, what is the use of this water frame in the industries? This machine consisted of a series of rollers and was run by water power or horsepower. Then by this new machine, a hard and the firm yarn suitable for work was usually spun. These are the rollers could not work in small homes but in big factories where power was available. So what it is known as that the famous water frame, power is required. It cannot be run or moved with the help of the hands of the labor. So water power or horsepower is required, and which can be this horsepower or water power can be generated with the help of the electricity. So Arkwright's invention meant the coming of the factory system. Earlier, this textile, most of the work were done by the manual laborers in their homes or the small scale this industries or the cottage industries type the structures were there. But when the water frame has been invented by Arkwright, this gave the new rise of the factory system. A new system and the new invention meant that the coming of the factory system. Factory system which is developed after the water frame. Then Crompton's mule. In 1779, it was developed or it was invented. Samuel Crompton, a Boston spinner, he invented a new machine which was known as mule. Now let's see what is the use of mule in the factories, in the industries. It combined the merits of both Hargreaves and the Arkwright's invention. Already the heading is only given interdependent. Now the Arkwrights and the Hargreaves, both these, their inventions are now combined. By this machine, fine and strong yarn could be easily spun. It made the production of fine muslin possible. So what is the? It's a very fine quality of cotton which is known as muslin. After the invention of this mule, this fine quality of muslin became possible in this textile industries. Then fifth number comes about power loom of Cartwright. Year wise also it is in a very chronological order. In 1785, Edmund Cartwright invented a new type of weaving machine called power loom. This is water frame and mule created great trouble for the weavers. They could not keep pace with the spinners. They were the slow and the demand were very high with the when this water frame and mule were used in the factories. So in 1785, Cartwright invented a new type of weaving machine called power loom. This machine was clumsy. It marked a great change in the whole system of weaving and restored the balance between spinning and weaving. So this was the importance of this power loom. With the use of this Edmund Cartwright, who invented this power loom, now the demand of this, the yarn and the spinning, now they have restored the balance, the system. The sixth one and the last one, it comes about that the cotton gin of Whitney. Eli Whitney, an American, he invented the cotton gin. It was invented in 1793. This is the year mentioned for that. This machine easily removed seeds from the cotton fibers, and this gave impetus to cotton textile industries. Now the manual labor is not required to remove the seed from the cotton balls. So this is the importance of gin. Showing you pictures also of this. This is water frame and this is mule, power loom, and this is gin. This is Whitney's gin. This is power loom by Cartwright. This is water frame. And this one is mule. So these were the machines which were invented by these inventors. The great inventors, they have invented these machines, and the production or cotton textile production increased in England.